And welcome back to episode 18 of Sin and Fin, the Dugout Decision Show.
And joining us today is another very special guest, the man behind the design of the infamous Vladdy Born Ready shirt, a superstar in the Toronto art space, and a sensation buzzing throughout Blue Jays land. Kit Weyman joins us today. Kit, welcome to the show. It's a great pleasure to have you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all inviting me to come through.
Now, this T-shirt has really been a sensation ever since it came to light, and I'm really curious to hear the story of how this all came to be. I know you've been a lifelong Blue Jays fan, and you've always been following this team. What does it mean to you to bring the shirt to light, and really, how did this all come about?
Yeah, I was 6 when we first won, and then 7 when we won again because we went back to back. And it's crazy. I was just watching The Sandlot over the weekend. I watch The Sandlot often, but I checked when it was released because I forgot it was 93 too. So it's like that year of winning and then winning again and then The Sandlot. Like I was just so baseball was my first love, and it was such a like special time. I don't know. Have you watched The Sandlot recently? Because it's
I can't believe I'm saying it, but no,
it's a masterpiece still. Like it's just so good, and these kids are such good actors. So yeah, like I come from, I grew up acting and in film. I wasn't at 6 and 7, but I always grew up around storytelling, I think, and then I really got big into street art. I went to a high school called the Etobicoke School of the Arts in Toronto, and at that school were some of the best graffiti writers in the city at the time. And so they put me on to just so much. And I became obsessed with graffiti. And that kind of while I was in the drama program. So that kind of set me off in terms of I would just be spending all my time with a sketchbook in class. And my mom's an artist too, as well as a teacher. So I was able to, I guess, interweave some of my disciplines. And nowadays I'm mostly a film director. But what a film director does is it's a storyteller. You're a visual and audio, storyteller. You're trying to break through and touch someone's heart with this synthesized version of reality that you've created. You've distilled down into these images, and so the cinematic storytelling tool of the internet is the meme. You know what I mean? It's how do you tell a photo? How can a photo tell the full story? How can an image with some text on it tell you the full story? And so that's kind of what the baby Vladdy Born Ready design was. Just it's right there for you. It's literally all these pieces. You just have to just look out and see. But the story is right there. It's been written, and Vladdy is writing it as we speak. You know what I mean? Yeah, I really truly believe that everything that has happened has all been part of this story, and it's preparing us for this incredible crescendo. So you look out and you see Vladdy is there with his dad in an Expos jersey, raising up his hat. I think that was Vladdy. That was Vladdy Seniors. It was the game where he was one shy of I think maybe 40 home runs. It was there was a milestone that was reaching that game, and so that's why Vladdy Jr. was there. And so you look at that, you look at the image, this iconic like photo of this kid who just is like holding up his hat, ready, so ready for the big leagues already.
Yeah.
And then you have that incredible moment where, you know, that marriage of like Hazel May asking him, "Are you ready?" And he's like, the crowd then cheers and he just feels it. And then you have the cameraman do that incredible double 360 around him, push into his close up. And then he hits you with the same, he repeats, he's so good because he repeated the question. He was like, "You asked me if I'm ready?" He's like, "I'm born ready, born ready." And it's there. Like, it's just like, you know, and you put those two things together and those two moments that he's already written. You know what I mean? You put those two together and that's what you get. And you get this like incredible synthesis and then the reaction is everything. You know, it tells you what you need to know about how people feel about it. But like, you know, all praises to like Vladdy and to honestly to God. Like, there were just so many crazy synchronicities that just happened to make this all come together. And what really set it off was after making this design in New York, because we were just feeling like we, you know, we were watching these games in New York. We needed something Toronto. We needed something. We needed to feel like home. And I was actually getting a bunch of. I was getting there was a some people coming down from a film called Box Cutter. My friends Soko and Kertiga, who produced it, and I asked them to bring down. Asked Kertiga to bring down some sweaters to New York so we could all rock them. And then my cousin called me and is like, "Yo, I need you to get on a plane because I got us tickets to Game 1 of the World Series."
Dang.
So I bought a ticket. I bought a Porter ticket, and after many sleepless nights, because I'm just like, I'm finishing this design, I'm making these things happen, I'm getting things printed in Toronto. I head out at 7:30, 7 o'clock in the morning to catch I forget what was it, like a 10 o'clock flight, but it's in New Jersey because it's Porter. Because Porter always flies out of Newark, right? At least that's what I remember from my times down here. And so I go to Newark, and I get to Newark. I show the ticket to the counter because it's not checking in for some reason. There's something wrong with it. Oh. And she looks at me and she says, "Oh, this is for LaGuardia." And so I was like, "What?" It definitely says LGA on it. And I realized it's always said LGA. It's always said LGA. And I just went to the wrong airport. So I was very upset about that. I couldn't transfer the ticket because I bought it via Expedia, and so I have to buy a new ticket. And as I swipe my credit card for the next $450 I don't have, then she looks at me and she says, "Don't worry, it happened for a reason." And in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, wow. The reason is I'm an idiot." And I make my way through the airport, just mildly cussing myself out, being like, "Bro, what are you doing? How could you like get your head on straight, bro?" But eventually, that subsides, and her voice kind of stays with me and is like, so I start looking for this reason. She says everything happened for a reason. So I'm asking everyone who I see who wears a Blue Jay hat, I'm like showing them this design, like, "Yeah, going to Toronto right now, go Jays, gonna go pick up these, put this on a T-shirt." Everyone's like, "Yeah, that's really cool." I touched down eventually in Toronto, and I'm like, maybe the reason is because I'm going to see Game 1 of the World Series with my my cousins, and like that's reason enough. Like I can live with that. And but then as I'm leaving the passport line in Toronto, this big tall dude with these sparkly eyes comes out, and he's in full Blue Jays gear. He's got a family behind him, all decked out in Blue Jays gear too. And I go, "Go Jays," and he's like, "Go Jays." And then I'm like, "Yo, I made this. Check this out." He's like, "You made that?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "John Schneider's my brother." And I'm like, "Oh," and it's Matt Schneider. It's Johnny Schneider's brother. So the passport guy's like, "What are you doing? Like, keep moving." And so I keep going. But as I'm walking away, I'm like, "All right, like that could be a reason. Like, that's a pretty good reason, So yeah. We link up at the luggage collection and just chat for a minute, exchange numbers. I'm like, "Let me get you guys some shirts. I'm gonna go pick them up in Saga right now, and I'll come back and go to the game tonight." So I smuggle some into the game, and I meet his brother Kev and a bunch of other people in his fam, and give them all shirts. And then I give him I give him a bag with it. I give him an extra bag that had a shirt for Vladdy and a shirt for John Schneider. And I wrote them a note. I wrote them each a note. It's just saying, "Gracias por su energía. You got the city lit, and bring it home." And so after the game, after we get that most insane game with Addison Barger with that, and I'm texting with Matt this whole time.
Yeah.
And during the game, just we're just throwing in like little predictions, or just how we're seeing the game come together. He's so funny, and this was so sick. I gotta tell this part because basically we're watching, and David Schneider wasn't having the best game in the first. He was, I think it was 0 for 2 or 0 for 3, and then in the 6th comes around, and I'm like, "Yo, we need to get Barger in." Send Matt a text being like, "We need Barger in," and wow. Two batters later, Barger comes in for Schneider. And there's this whole hilarious backstory of him sleeping on the couch. And then you think about it, maybe Schneider had like kind of a shitty sleep because he could hear his boy outside his room like rolling around on his bed, and like, you know, and maybe that's why he's not hitting the ball so well today. And you know, that's the beauty of baseball though, is that like these like things where you think it's a mistake, a missed flight ends up being the right flight, and like your boy keeping you up all night and not letting you sleep ends up being his reason for him pinch hitting and getting a grand slam. And like, you know, that's the beauty of life and beauty of baseball, I think, the magic of it all. So Barger comes up, you know what happens, and
Oh yeah.
you know, and Matt's like, you called it. What the fuck? And I was like, bro, your brother called it. Like, I was like, this is just surreal. Like, I haven't, you know, we're talking with Matt Schneider about like calls on baseball while his brother is down there literally leading us forward to this incredible moment. It's just surreal. And then it got even more surreal when after the game, he texted me a photo, and he had just put the note and the sweaters inside Johnny Schneider's office, and for Vladdy and for him. Bro, I just hit I hit my knees. Like, I was just so grateful, just so blown away that this crazy ride that we just experienced, you know, it really, it feels like cosmic when you're in the stadium too. Like, watching at home is one thing, but when you're in the stadium, just with everyone around you, like just like the amount of human emotion and energy and like just like excitement to be surrounded by like just thousands and thousands of people feeling that same thing, cheering this common cause on, is just, it's incredible. It's like, it really is like, it's like it's shifting. Like, it shifts the city, it shifts the energy in the city, it shifts the way that people feel, it shifts the way we feel about each other and the way we feel about, like, you know, ourselves collectively as a city. And that's kind of my mission, is to make moments, and that's kind of from moving from filmmaking into like, you know, moments that you can wear. That's what Ailey's is, and that's where this kind of all came from. And same with the hat I'm wearing. I like I said, I grew up writing graffiti, and so there's a wall in Toronto that has "I love you" still on it, that I put up a couple years, many years ago now, and was very interesting because I was ready for that. That was my next thing that I was planning to roll out with my cousin and my sister and my homie Blue Jay Smith, who connected us. And so I was set up already to do this thing, and then this was just the fuel injection that just allowed me just to really connect with, like, you know, a large audience. So that's like the Coles Notes version. There's all kinds of crazy intricacies and interwoven moments that happen within that, but you know, really it was just like, it was a missed flight. But, you know, again, like, how could it be a missed flight? How could I have gone to the wrong airport? Like, that's it. It's the right airport. I went to the airport I was supposed to go to, regardless of what a ticket says. And I think, again, that's the beauty of baseball. That's the beauty of, like, you know, some people, I understand that technically we didn't win the World Series, but in all, you know, in our experience and like just the experience of everything, like we won something. Like, we won together as a city, and we're so ready again. I really do believe, you know, I'm so excited for 2026. Like, those kinds of experiences that you get, it changes again for the makeup of a team. It changes the DNA of a team and a player. And I stayed until I was at Game 7 as well, and I stayed until the very end, until they kicked me out of the stadium.
Wow.
I wanted to watch I wanted to soak in every moment. And you know who else did? Vladdy was in the stadium watching the whole thing as well, because it's real. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's like, you have to, like, it is in your DNA. And I think that winning and losing are just two sides of the same coin. It's and how you do that, and what you absorb and what you take in from how you deal with, like, losses. Like, you know, Vladdy can go up and go 0 for 3 in a game, and then the next next time he goes up, he'll knock a home run out. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, that's how you have to, each of these times you step up is a completely, like, you know, new moment, but also in time's flow. So you have to, like, be able to really, like, learn life and be able to understand that mistakes aren't always mistakes. Sometimes they're actually to set you up for something greater. And I really do believe that. And I do believe that for the Blue Jays. I really believe that, you know, this is all part of the story. And I'm ready to see the next chapter next year.
And I have to say, I share that sentiment because I happened to be at Game 7 as well. And similarly to you, I couldn't leave my seat, honestly. And I know Christian was at Game 1, actually, of the World Series too, right? So he saw that Barger moment. So we've all shared these experiences. And you're so right. For so many people in the city that, let's say, didn't follow the Blue Jays or maybe, followed them only when they were good, say in those 2015-16 years, it felt like everyone was coming together. The older generation, maybe that was watching those 92-93 teams, everyone was coming together. But I have to ask, with this shirt, I think it was after Game 6 of the ALCS, right before Game 7, where George Springer has that incredible home run. It was right after that game where Hazel asks Vlad the question. He goes, "I'm born ready." He has that incredible moment. That left maybe about a week or so, right, until Game 1 of the World Series. And you mentioned those sleepless nights. What was that maybe 5 or 6 day or maybe week-long stretch to try and get this all ready, to get it ready to go?
Yeah, it was Game 6. It was after the Springer, and she was asking him if he's ready for Game 7, and then what happened. He was ready. We were all ready, and then then it was hollering at different. I grew up in the rap, like making rap music in the hip hop scene in Toronto, and so like I had some friends who back in the day were printing our flyers and like making our like T-shirt merch. And reconnected with them and hollered at them to have this thing printed, and they were able to jump in and be excited about the idea as well. Alex Cronin and Murdoch, they jumped in and halftone printing, these guys out in Saga, back from 3-5 player, like old Western Union, like old, we're talking like, this is all, I'm a Toronto kid. Like we're talking like, these are like old, like, Toronto homies, Toronto, like history, connections that I've built up over the years. And so, I'm part of being a director is knowing, like a film director is knowing all the parts that come into play when making a production. So for me, since I've lived all these different lives as like, as a musician, as a rapper, I'm still nice, by the way. I'm still a really good rapper, no lie. And then getting into film and understanding like, deadlines and how to make things happen like really quickly. Rap doesn't necessarily always happen really quickly, but film has to happen really quickly. So I was just really focused. I just was like, again, it felt like something felt like divine about the whole thing. And for me, I was just doing it. I was just putting like 50 to 100. Like I was like, let's do 50 first, and then let's see if like my friends are gonna want these. I'll just give them to my family, my cousins. Like we're all gonna go to the game, and so it'll be sick. Well, I'll just have this like thing, and like maybe a couple extra people will be like, that's cool, I want one. So yeah, I didn't plan on having it. Like we didn't plan on any of this. This was all, again, this was just from Vladdy and Bo, like, rocking with the idea. That was the thing too, is that Bo was actually the first one to rock it publicly.
Wow.
And then what's that sports, Justin Verlander? No, he's the pitcher. Ben Verlander.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He put it up. He said Bo's rocking this Vladdy T-shirt. And then Buck Martinez started shouting it out. And like, like it was this huge thing that just happened because the players were like, yeah, I rock with this. And it added some kind of like magic to it. You know what I mean? And Bo and Vladdy are such, good homies that I think that was just like, that was just the way that like the way that it blew up was because the players rocked with it. And then again, like I said, it's the zeitgeist. It was, all we did was take two undeniable moments and bring them together. So, how did that week go through? I mean, that week was just setting things up and re-tapping back into my network, and then getting ready to catch a flight that I missed. and keeping the rest of the things in my life going, which is also so crazy, and I guess like setting up the company. So like I said, I read I Love You Still, and we launched this company called Illy's, like that with
okay.
So
nice.
Yeah, I love you still gear is all, it's on our website, I-love-you-still.com. And again, it's like it's Toronto moments. It's like moments you can wear, and kind of in conversation. I really think that we're always like in conversation with the city in terms of what's happening. And it's again, I come from that rap world. The new punchline is a meme. Is like this, like, is what can you say with like a design? What can you say with like one small thing? That's just the internet moves so fast. That's what's so beautiful about meme culture, is that it's like, how can you say as many, like not as many things, but like it's not about quantity but quality. What can you say with one image?
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, that is already what you're saying, is you're activating what's already in like the ether or in the zeitgeist or in like, you know, popular culture. So you're saying much more than one thing with one image. You're saying a lot of things, but you're activating that by having that one image. So I think that was the main, that was my main hustle that week, was just like, what are we saying and how do we say it and how do we communicate that? And you know, I guess we said something, you know, worth listening to.
Yeah, the first time I was exposed to this design was I was just scrolling through Twitter and I was like, oh, Bo's like wearing this really cool shirt. And they're often wearing different designs. Like RotoWear works with Major League Baseball and they put out all these cool different designs with baseball. And I was like, oh, that's probably just another one of those. And I was like, wait, this isn't. This is by a Toronto company. It's a really cool design. And there's something about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. being on the shirt. He has such a connection with the fans. And like every interview, he's getting the fans going. There's such a connection there. He's here for 14 more years. Like, he's not leaving. And there's a fact with that. Like, he's ours. And he came up with us. He's been with us since like 16 years old. Yep. And now, like, that playoff run was insane. And then I was like, I need to be affiliated with this shirt. I need to get a shirt myself. So what do? I go on Facebook Marketplace. I'm like, okay, what do we got on Facebook Marketplace? They're selling a bunch of fake ones in Burlington, Ontario. I'm like, okay, like, is this the real one though? Should I go get this? And it wasn't even Vlad's face. It was like an animated version of Vlad's face. I was like, oh my goodness, what the heck, man? What has been your experience with, bro? What has been your experience with those, like, people trying to imitate your design and put out different versions like that?
Yeah, well, like, it's interesting because the bootlegs just popped off. Like, there was a moment where we were like, what the heck? Like, what is going on? Like Shein, Temu, like all the big like drop shipping, like Chinese printing, like drop shippers, they all do it now. And Etsy's flooded, Facebook Marketplace is flooded. When we went to game 6, I went to game 6 and 7. And going to game 6, we were walking through the crowd and there's just bare people with the design, but on like a different bootleg design. So it's like vinyl printed, and like someone was saying they saw people in the crowd with like, you know, huge flags of it or like banners and stuff. I wish I'd gotten, like, I never got that on camera or anything like that. But yeah, it was nuts. It just exploded in this way. But again, that's what I'm saying, is just, it was the zeitgeist and it's bigger than us. So like my reaction to it was like, damn, that's crazy. And like, I guess it's hitting, you know what I mean? Like, you can't stop that. Once a bootlegger, and speaking with, like, I got to meet Vladdy and his team in the weeks afterwards, and talking with them too, it's like, this is just what happens. It's just like, when something hits, you're going to get bootleggers, and like, you can't go and shut them down because they'll just do it from, like, if they're doing it out of like, you know, Taiwan, then they'll switch it over to like Turkey, and like, if they're like, it's just gonna be, it just happens. It just is the way it is. And in all honesty, it like, you have to kind of just be a little, you have to be maybe like a little, not flattered, but like, you're like, okay, well, like, you know, people like it and people rock with it, and like the real ones know. And I we never did this to, like, you know, this has all been just blessing. Like, we never did this to, like, what can you do? Like, copyright Vlad, it's Vladdy. You know what I mean? It's like, it's our design, and like, you know, and we did it first, and like, and people know that, and like, I trust that process in terms of like what that means and what we can do with that going forward in terms of our ability to tap into the storytelling and to continue to build this mythology of Toronto. So at first it was the reaction was definitely disbelief and like kind of awe, and like maybe a moment of like, bro, like, I mean, the design sucks. So it's like there was a moment when we went to the Vladdy baseball camp, and we met Anna, shout out Anna from Etobicoke, and she was wearing a bootleg version, and she was like, "I'm so sorry." She's like, "I didn't know." She's like, "I just went on to Facebook. Same thing. I went on to Facebook, and this is what came up."
Yeah.
So, they got the SEOs popping, but the real one is at I-love-u.still-com.
There we go.
So the real good stuff is the real print. Our print's way better, and like, you just, that's what you want.
Yeah.
I-love-u-still.com. That's where you can get it. And like, that's life. Like, it's like, it just shows that you're doing something right, I think. And it's funny, like, when we spoke about it, it was all very much like, how do we use this then to, propel our mission forward? And if people love it that much, then we're doing something right. And how do we continue to do that? Do something else right. Just keep swinging, man. Just put more people on base. And like, now everyone knows this design. And I trust that will, bring us to the next, get us on base, and let's just get some more, someone's gonna double. Let's hit a triple. Let's get a home run. Let's get more. That's really that's the attitude in baseball. Is just that's what me and Matt would always say. Is just like, well, someone gets on base, let's get some more. Let's keep it running. Let's keep the rally going.
Yeah, it was a home run and then some, and it's crazy how quick of a sensation it became, right? Like, I noticed within a few days of it getting out there, you're on TV and getting some segments there, which I watched, which were amazing to get it out there and to share this message again. I'm sure there's been other artists, right, that have gone out there and tried to make designs or try to make Toronto or Blue Jays based designs, but maybe they haven't been so successful. This one picked up immediately, right? And it really got out there. If there was one thing maybe, or a couple of things that you could speak to in terms of really what got it out there, was it the connection really with the city? I heard on some of your segments you mentioned getting the youth involved, right? Trying to get this new generation, maybe getting away from that older generation that was watching the 92, 93 teams, trying to get this new generation into it, get it rejuvenated and bring them into this fan base. If there was one thing that you think that got it out there so quick and why it means so much to the city.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it connected with people because it connects to our inner child. And I think that baseball is really, for my generation, the ones who saw, I was 5 and 6 or 6 and 7. So like, I saw it happen, but it also was like, at that time, it's bigger than life. Like, Kelly Gruber was a god, you know what I mean? Like, that hair, wavy hair was like, that was everything. And I had like my hair was pretty straight, but like, that was my guy. And you look out at this world and you're like, you recognize that we're all just looking for these heroes. And so I think that the inner child, the fact that this was Vladdy, we see Vladdy as a kiddo, and you understand then that like, we're all just a bunch of kiddos, you know what I mean? We're all just a bunch of kiddos just trying to like make this like, thing called life happen and work. And I think that's what connected so deeply with it. And that allows parents to connect with it too. My favorite experience, I took my mom, we also went to game 2 of Toronto versus Seattle, which wasn't a great game, which was, we scored like 1 run, I think maybe. And like, but my favorite experience this entire playoffs, I'm not gonna lie, was just a moment I looked over at my mom and watching her watch the game. The joy I saw in her eyes, like, literally brings tears to mine. And I know that was because the same thing where she's connecting, she's remembering when I was like a little kid and seeing me watch it and seeing me grow, and my journey from being that size, like being a young, same age as Vladdy was, raising this hat up. Yeah. So I think that like, it was for the inner, I think what I said on the interview was that this was for the inner child of our generation. And that's for everyone. We all have an inner child. And I think baseball has the ability to bring out the inner child in us all in the most positive way, where we can all believe in something, care about something that ultimately is like, at the end of the day, it's a game. That's the beauty about, I think, what John Schneider brings to the team, is that John Schneider brings a level-headedness where it is the most important thing that we're all, working together collectively to do. And I think baseball, especially, fans play a huge, in any sport for sure, but baseball is so cosmic, and like, you're trying to hit a ball out of the air that's coming at you 100 miles an hour, and like, bro, it has nothing to do with logic. It has nothing to do with like, there's no, like the game has a lot of logic in terms of how you play it from a coaching standpoint, but like it's so much about feeling and so much about intuition and just like, you know, reaction. That's the beauty of sports, is it distills it down to these moments. And the beauty about baseball too is that it gives you these like incredible moments where you can be with each other and just wait for this thing to happen, and then it happens. And it's like hockey is just madness, like, you know, just constant kind of, you know, this crazy back and forth game. Basketball has a bit more kind of that like breath in and out, but it's also just back and forth. Baseball is this thing where you're like, we're all here, we're all going towards this moment, and the pitcher throws the ball, and then something's going to happen. And so it's a great sport to watch. It's a collectively one of the most exciting sports to watch, because you have time to connect with the people around you before this, you know, action comes into play. So to me, it's like, it was about igniting and allowing us to remember. A lot of my work is about reminders, I think, reminding us to connect back to the inner child or your core, whatever that core kind of belief is. And for me, it's love. Love always wins at the end of the day. And I've experienced that throughout my life, and in the forms of memorials where people didn't say what they wanted to say in their, you know, to their friend before that friend is gone, or in relationships where, you know, someone doesn't say the truth, the thing that they want to say, the thing that's really inside them, and then it, you know, jams up, and then you have all these, communication breaks down, and, you know, you have to dig deep to actually like come back to that place of like of love, and again, that inner child. That's where we always come back to. And I think of this because of my work as an actor and as a filmmaker. It's like, these are all what stories are all about. It's about uncovering the heart and getting back to that place of like, that we can all start from. And I think that this shirt did that in that way, where it was like, you know, it's a kid. And so when you look at so much about baseball, you know, the majority of people who play baseball when they're growing up don't go on to the major leagues and don't even want to go on to the major leagues. It's about playing with a team and being a part of something, and you know, growing. So to see our superstar, who's literally knocking, you know, home runs out of the park and leading us with this like incredible charisma and energy, to see him as a little kid just does something to us in terms of just being like, wow, like, you know, that's me, and I'm gonna grow, and I'm gonna be that, I'm gonna become that in my own way. So I think that's what, to me, that's what the success behind the design speaks to and speaks of.
Yeah, and you've mentioned all of these Jays affiliated people. You've talked about Vlad's team, all the Schneiders, Bo wearing it. And how surreal is that to just talk to those people and have that form a relationship after the fact?
I mean, meeting Vladdy, I blacked out. Like I was like, wow, this is crazy. But also at the same time, it was also so natural. And so like, when I met him, it was just like, you know, there he is, and like there he's been here. Like I spent the last like month with him every day, every day watching these baseball games, like, you know, heart on my sleeve. So meeting him was like, it was just, it all felt so aligned and so you know, just natural. It felt really, really natural. And I haven't met Bo yet. Very excited to meet Bo whenever that day comes. I love Bo. Bo's swagger is so like, when he knocked that home run out in Game 7, bro. Ooh. His look, bro. Yeah, he has so much swag, but so understated. And when he came and gave Don Mattingly that hug after the game, bro. Oh yeah. My God, like, he's just such a good, like, these guys are good guys, and like, just such a team, and such like a caring. They really care for each other, and that's what keeps teams together. Yeah, it was all like, you know, I grew up kind of like in front of cameras and behind cameras. I know what's behind the curtain, and I know what's in front of the curtain. So I think it was like, and this is the best thing for me, bro, is that same thing when I was speaking about the inner child. This allowed me to be my inner child, to come out and play and just have a great time. Like, you know, we're in the World Series, and I'm in the Sky Dome talking to Rick the Temp from Much Music. Wow. You know, I grew up watching this guy every day. So it was just meeting like all these beautiful stories and beautiful people and the Toronto energy, man. I really believe in this city like so deeply. That's why I stay here. I don't a lot of my friends left, and but I'm here to build Toronto's mythology. Like I'm here to help build the mythology of the city that raised me. And I do that via film and the feature films that I'm planning to make. And you know, via this clothing line, via and my art, you know, whether that's from graffiti, street art, to clothing, to movies and television. You know, that's my mission. So when I meet these people in my life, you know, I've met a lot of people, but you know, when I meet these people who are like, you know, there's something pure about that. I really want to meet Ernie too. I really want to meet Ernie Clement. That's so pure.
Yeah.
So pure. Like when you meet these guys, you also realize, I realized a long time ago that everyone's just a person. Everyone's just, you know, everyone's just a dude, a girl, a woman, a man. Just we're all just trying to figure this shit out. And some people are really good at what they do. And when you meet someone who's really good at what they do, it inspires you to be really good at what you do. So I take it all, and I just I'm grateful for it, and I you know, I pray for it, and I keep it moving.
Yeah, I love, man. I love the message. I have to say, shout out to Rick Campanelli. Actually, went to Brock University as an alumni, which is where Christian and I are both studying. So, shout out to him. But when you mentioned Bo, and yeah, especially with Rick, and when you mentioned Bo and wanting to, especially meet Bo, I kind of similarly to you, I have my hair tends to be a little bit long, and I'd have kids come up to me and say, "Dad, that looks like Bo," and so I always had that connection.
Look like Bo.
Yeah, so it's there a little bit. Maybe one day he'll get the glasses, or I'll get rid of them. Well, it'll go either way, but. For me, going back to the 2015-16 days, I've always mentioned it's Josh Donaldson. I got the number 20 there. And then when it shifted and it became the new era of this Vladdy and Bo era, as much as it's hard to believe that I'm going to say it's not, it wasn't Vladdy for me. I love Vladdy. I love everything he does for the city. There was something about Bo that I just loved his energy that he brings to the team. Maybe that he doesn't show it so much on the field, but you know how much he wants it when he steps onto that field, right? And especially that moment you mentioned in Game 7. So... I can only imagine what you mentioned, that inner child getting to meet him would be like. I know I would just like turn into cream. I don't even know what I would feel if I were to meet him. But yeah, that's amazing that you can speak to that, meeting these people, even the first time meeting Matt Schneider, right? Like in the airport the first time. So dude, I really love that. I love that message that you're sharing of the inner child, because I think we all feel like that when we see this.
Yeah, 100%, man. Matt is just such a kind guy. Like I said, it's you got the eyes. The Schneider family has these like really sparkly eyes where they're like, and like, you know, with Johnny Schneider, you can see this, like he's so steady as a coach needs to be, but you can see he could like he's also like he could pop. You know what I mean? He could like back it. He could, you know, he could fire when he needs to, and that whole family has like they all have this similar kind of sparkle in their eyes. It's very interesting. I think also to shout out Bo, like what you said about also he is like I don't know, maybe it resonates with me. Like he's the kind of guy. You go back to that home run, that swagger, bro. That was a Bautista moment. Like he even like spun the bat with like a little like. He like gave it like a top spin, like he was spinning a top to it or something like that. And I agree with you that understated swagger is so potent and so like that's winners. That's a real crazy, like it's an amazing position to be in for like a winner's kind of mentality. Because it allows you to be very steady, very, very steady.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for him to be fully healthy next year and be running those bases.
Well, because it sucks because he's a free agent, right? And we've mentioned as a top priority, we really want him to come back.
Oh, he's coming back, man. It would be insanity to not bring Bo Bichette back. That would be absolute insanity. Him and Vladdy, like you said, they've literally grown up since they were kids. You know what I mean? It would be insanity. So I'm sure that they're just doing what they need to do in the back office. He waived that whole like extra year thing because that means that I want to sign long term. Let's lock them down. Let's lock it in, and let's like, you know, let's get this team cemented. And now we've got Cease. Like, well, it's just we're looking. I'm very excited for next year. I'm so excited for next year.
Yeah, and that was my next point. It's Jay's ownership, Rogers' communication, not holding back. They make the first big signing of the offseason, giving $210 million to Dylan Cease, a guy who will line up right next to Kevin Gausman at the top of the Jays rotation. How cool is it to really see the Blue Jays, Dodgers, Yankees all be at the epicenter of baseball, and they're all in the same talk, all in the same conversation?
It's incredible. It's incredible. It's like it's a, and I mean, the strike. Shout out the Expos, because like the Expos were, Canadian baseball was on the rise, and then the strike happened, and and kind of just changed everything. And to see like Canadian baseball is so interesting because we live in a climate where we can't play half the year. You know what I mean? But we produce some pretty great ball players, and the culture, Canada is a country of immigrants. So we have all this like crazy potential to harness in terms of just like cultures that, the Cuban, Dominican, South American, Central American, I mean, even like American, and Japanese, like we have such an interesting, we have a crazy melting pot. I should say mosaic. We have a crazy mosaic of, but it could be a melting pot. We could turn that mosaic into a melting pot for baseball. And I think that you need that spark though as a kid. Like you need to look up. That's what this right here, this run has started a whole new generation of ball players and kids who want to be now like Vladdy. Like this will birth a whole new generation of kids growing up in Canada wanting to play baseball. And that's what you need. You need to have that. If you want to have a culture, you need to have that star that we can all look towards and we can like kind of aspire to. And kudos to the team. Kudos to like Shapiro for like pulling the trigger and like why would if there's a time to do it, the time is now. And you know what I mean? Like and Rogers, like, get our cell phone money and get us Bo Bichette. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pay our bills and you get us Bo. And that's a great deal. And like, they made back what they did already, what they put out on Vladdy.
Yeah.
It's there. Let's go win a World Series. Let's go win 2 World Series. Let's go back to back. Let's like, because baseball, that's the beautiful thing about baseball is like when it's rolling, you roll with it. And again, so much of it is this cosmic kind of energy that you deal with. You can't control baseball. Like it's like at the end, that John Schneider's, again, I just love John Schneider, man. Ever since he did that that locker room speech, Miles Straw, Nathan Lucas takes everybody every day, starts spreading the news, bitches. I was watching with my mom, and she was like, "What?" We loved it. It was incredible. This guy's blowing up champagne, swearing on live television. But he said at the end, he was like his closing statement on like, what happened. And it was like, that's baseball. And it's true. You can set yourself up and give yourself the best chance possible with the best players. And, but we're talking about hitting a ball, coming out of a man's hand or a woman's hand at like 101 miles per hour. Like, you tell me, you don't know what's going to happen. The ball could get stuck underneath. The freaking like the inch that it needed to go could get stuck underneath the freaking like outdoor, like the outfield, like it just doesn't make any, like you're like, what? But that's baseball. That's the cosmic baseball gods like dropping it in at that exact point. And like, you reference a couple years. I know a lot of things popped up after that where you reference a couple years ago and they play the ball, and like they said, get it, it's right there. And someone I watched an inside the park home run from a guy who was like, I'm gonna keep going. And they're like, well, dude, you could have got the baseball. It's right there. The ball was right there. I mean, this guy's holding his hands up being like, I can't. And they're like, well, you can't let this go. Like, we can't let him, but you could have. You really could have, because the ball was right there. And definitely was not stuck. It was not stuck at all. It was right in front of you, and you could have pulled it out. But I don't know. Is that baseball? Is that the umps? It happened. It happened, and that's the way. That's baseball. So what can you say? That's baseball. That's the end of the day.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's really special, and I love how you mentioned the importance of Schneider on this team, right? Because he is the gel right? He's the one that brings everyone together in this clubhouse. I think we all agree that he was robbed of the manager of the year. I think he should have won that award. I don't know how he didn't win that.
Insane. Absolutely
Yeah,
insane.
that's crazy. I don't know how he didn't win that, but that's why I love the message that you're trying to share here. And with your other brand, you mentioned that I Love You Still. Are there any other pieces of merch or design or anything else that we can shout out? Because I would love to get this message out there. Because again, I love what you're trying to share here of the love and the passion and bringing everyone together in the city.
Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, the I Love You Still. If you go to the website, like I feel like
Yeah.
I love you still.com with some dashes in between. Then you can see everything we got there. We got this cool tote bag with the gang on it. We love you still with our starting lineup, and then the bullpen on one side.
Oh, wow.
I can go get it. It's over there. And then we put out these hats. Put out the right here. The hat and the navy blue. And then, we put out some sweatshirts. We just put the design on some sweatshirts. So same thing. We got T-shirts. We got sweatshirts. And then, we're going to continue dropping a couple more hats. We just put out another I Love You Still bag. Let me go grab the bag. I can show you because you can edit this down. Right?
Nice. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. All right. I get it. So yeah, we got we did a bag with the gang. With everybody on here.
Wow, that's sick.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a little wrinkled because it's been in my luggage, but it's got the whole gang: Vladdy, Springer, Ernie, Varsh.
Wow,
that's
Lucas
awesome.
Lucas looks like a bachelor. Miles Straw, our boy Johnny Schneids, Kirky.
Look at the mustache. Yeah,
right.
I love it.
Sick. Baja looking good.
Yeah.
IKF.
Yeah.
Jimenez, and then Bo and Vladdy at the top, and then the bullpen on the back. So
it's sick.
Yeah, the gang's on the back there too. Again, a little wrinkled, but super nice.
Love it.
That's awesome.
And then put out the bags recently too. So this is this guy right here.
Sick.
Text on there, and then Illy's on the back, like that.
That's
and then
awesome.
The best part about this guy is that it's got this inner pocket right here, like that. Keep the heart safe. Zip that shit up. And zipper on there too. And then these hats. And then these are coming out soon.
Wow.
It's kind of
new releases.
Yeah, this is coming out soon.
Oh.
It's the tiger camo.
Sick.
Because love's hard to find in the city. You gotta look for it. And it's in there. And then the classic navy blue. So these are some of the things. But then we're like, again, the whole thing with I Love You Still is like, because we're based in street art, is like street art and graffiti is a conversation with the city. It's what's happening in the city. You're able to galleries, you have to pay to go in. It's a controlled kind of space. Graffiti gives you the ability to express freely and is also accessible to everybody. So that's kind of like the goal of our company, and the ethos, the mission is to be in conversation with the city as things happen. So while also then setting a tone and like, allowing us to set a frequency and send out like some good energy into the city and remind us, that we have a lot to be thankful for. And I love Toronto, and sometimes it's hard to find the love. Sometimes it's difficult. It's a crazy city to live in, and a lot of artists, it's very difficult to maintain being an artist in the city, and with how things have gotten in terms of pricing and housing, and so it's very important, I think, to continue to fuel the arts community, and I appreciate you guys, spreading the message and supporting our mission.
Yeah, very cool. Love the brand. Love what you stand for. Love the mission, as you said. And we're just going to close here with one last question. So you mentioned Kelly Gruber, mentioned the hair, mentioned 92, 93. What are your favorite moments from the Jays or even baseball in general?
Like of all time?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, when we won like back in the day in back-to-back, when Joe Carter hit that home run, like I remember going outside of my house at like, 6 years old or whatever. And I just remember hearing like everywhere I could hear was just cars honking all over, like it was like a sea. Like I just went and I ran up and down the street going, "We won, we won, we won!" Like that shit, that was incredible. Like I remember that vividly. I remember the smell, the feeling of like the cold, how it was coming, and like I just remember hearing the city just like popping off. Um, remember going to the parade. The parade was incredible. I remember seeing Kelly Gruber in real life and being like, "Wow, his hair really is as beautiful as it looks on TV." And uh, yeah, I mean, you know, the bat flip, one of the greatest of all time moments. That was just incredible. I was actually, it's so weird. I was in New York for that too. I find myself in New York for these times where the Blue Jays like, and then I come back and I like, you know, but I'm like called home by the Blue Jays every time. I'm like out in the world, and then like I'm like, I gotta go. Like, you know, this is happening. The playoffs baseball, you know, playoff baseball is here. October Magic is here, and my birthday's October 13th. That was also the cool thing too. I didn't mention that. All this happened off of my birthday.
Nice.
Which was wild, which was so wild. Shout out October 13th. God bless that day. Well, thanks to my parents, you know. God bless my parents.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And like, and honestly, playing baseball and like, you know, just showing up to Christy Pitts every day and playing Lizzie's like in the summer, and like just having that to go back to is just like such a blessing. I think that my favorite moments though, like in terms of being like, oh man, this playoff run was just all one incredible continuous ride. I love Encarnacion. I love that era, Encarnacion era, the Bautista era. Man, just going to the Dome as well, and like just being in that space, and like there's just something about it that brings you back to, again, for me, just brings back to childhood. You know, I get lost in it, like just thinking about it. And you know who I shout out, Ed Sprague. What a great name.
Wow.
Ed Sprague. Like
that's a name, yeah.
Cito Gaston, John Olerud. Oh man, like just like Pat Borders, like bro, Juan Guzman. Oh my god. Like just that era, that team was so, everyone was a god to me, you know what I mean? And it's so cool to see now, you know, see our boys now like writing that same kind of history, and knowing that there are all these kids out there who are looking up to them being like, wow, you are God. And like I could, you know, maybe one day I could be like you. Yeah, Skydome. Shout out Skydome. Let's bring it back. Let's call it Rogers Skydome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
It is the Dome, or at least the Dome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the Dome. The center is cool, but we got a dome. We got a dome on our hands. That can, for the future. We'll talk about it. We'll Ted, or you know, not Ted. Shout out Ted though. All the Rogers.
Ed Rogers. Yeah.
Ed Rogers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would connect it back to the city again, right? Right back to that point. So, listen, we really appreciate you joining us today. We love everything you do. Again, everyone that's listening, check out the Vladdy shirt. I love you still with dashes in between. Is that right?
.com? I-love-you-still.com.
Absolutely. So everyone that's listening, check it out. We love everything we do, and we look forward to what comes next with all your design. So thank you for coming on today and sharing your message.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it, guys. Big time. Let's go, Jays. Let's get it next year. We got this. 2026.
We got it. Let's go. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for listening, guys.
All right. Blessings. Peace.